I'm going to use this really beautiful image from the John Galliano Spring Haute Couture show in Paris from 2016. It was a tribute to David Bowie, and a lot of the models were dressed inspired by Bowie's legacy. Shortly after he died, Bowie has always been one of my biggest heroes, and this collection was super cool, and I loved the makeup and hair. So I hope it makes for a good Warhol inspired portrait. Let's see. So I've opened it in Photoshop and I go to Image, Adjustments, Black and White. Then in the pop-up window, I'm just going to press OK. And then to increase the contrast, I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels, and then I'm just going to bring in the darks and the lights a bit and adjust the midtones, but make sure I maintain some definition and press OK once I have it. So now I'm going to start painting out the image. First, I'm going to create a new layer and select multiply. And I'm going to use a hard edge brush to start painting out the background. So I'll select a gray from my color palette and get my brush size ready, and I'm going to use a hard edge and start painting out the background. So as I finish up the painting out the background with my gray, I just want to point out I'm not being too careful. I want some overlapping and to replicate that registration or misregistration that Warhol would get in some of his silk screens. To colorize the image, I go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, and Saturation. I'm going to go for kind of an icy bluish green background, so you have to remember to really turn up the saturation, and I'm gonna adjust the lightness also because I'm not really into the super saturated colors, but by adjusting the lightness I can have more options. Next, I think I'll work on her eyes. So for each area of color, I have to create a new layer, select multiply, a gray, and my brush, this time I have to make it smaller. And I'm just going to zoom in so I can see the outline of her eyeball. And I'm going to, I think, go for a cat eye green this time. And remember, you have to have a new layer each time you create a new color. So there's her eyes, and again I go to Image, Adjustment, and Hue and Saturation. And again, my pop-up window, I adjust my sliders, and I want to go for an unearthly sort of green color. And again, brighten it up. And for her skin, I'm just finishing up painting out her skin. I think a pinky lavender tone for her skin would look cool. So once I get this all painted out, I've left her lips and also this really cool sparkly lip makeup on her throat. I go to image, hue and saturation, and I want to end up in a pinky, purpley, sort of really beautiful color to play off the greens that I just created for her eyes in the background. So now I've pretty much have finished it up. I used one color for her lips, one for the garment, and one for the hair. Again, each time I did that, I created a new layer. For the blending option, I selected multiply, and then I went to image adjustment, hue and saturation, and played around with the sliders in the dialog window until I had a color that I liked. And that's pretty much it. Now, oh, I wanted to say, some of you probably know this, but David Bowie played Andy Warhol in the movie Basquiat by Julian Schnabel. So there's a little trivia question for you. Okay, that's it. Thank you.